Welcome to the Energy Hour Podcast. Get ready, because it's loud, funny, and we're ready to shake things up. You know, the guys started this journey as renewable energy experts since 1993, by the way, thinking they were just here to save the planet, hug the trees, and protect the whales. But guess what? They dug deeper, and this rabbit hole opened up a whole new world. Now they talk about everything: home improvements, real estate, house flipping, and just life in general, bringing you not only the latest on solar and renewable energy, but also inside tips from house flipping gurus, real estate investors, tax experts, Airbnb pros, and so much more. It costs you nothing to tune in, but ignoring them, well, that could cost you big time and missed opportunities. Blowing the whistle, spilling the beans, and giving you the real scoop on everything from solar panels to flipping homes, tax liens to mobile homes. The Energy Hour Podcast. And now, here's your hosts, Christopher Moss, Robert Musikowski, and Steven Laserson.
What's going on, Southern California? My name is Christopher Moss, and we are the Energy Hour Podcast. Today is April 22nd, 2025. Believe it or not, it is already here. April is almost in the bag. What do you say about that, right? So April 22nd, and today we are talking about my vacation. That's right. I actually took a damn vacation, and it was frickin' off the cuff. And I met somebody today, this morning, a gentleman by the name of James Grosso that I'm going to speak to about as well. And this guy is energy. I'm telling you, he's energy. So with no further ado, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am your host, Christopher Moss. So, April 22nd, the year, the first quarter's gone. We just started the second quarter, and that's going to go before you know it. And after that, it's going to be just fly by. I tell this to my brother Steve all the time. Time flies by too much. And I speak to other people about the same subject. And it truly does. Time just flies by. And I don't get it. Where does it go? I don't know where it hangs out, but all I know is it's Tuesday, and I got up this morning, I drove my car to work, and I hung out with Sergio. James came in and visited us for a minute, and it was pretty cool. And that being said, some other energies just started connecting the circle, right? So I talk about energy all the time, and the reality is energy is everything. Energy is around you. It connects us. It networks us. It does everything. So what I had to do to get that energy back is I had to go on a little vacation, what do they call it, a hiatus or a sciatic? You know what I mean, right? It was a great little vacation, and it was almost for a month. And of course, when you're away, the kids will play and stuff like that. And, it is what it is. Things happen, right, when you're gone. But that being said, vacations are necessary. You need to unplug. You need to shake the hinge. Wow. Oh, I just got to get rid of all that stuff. And you got to turn all this stuff back to you. So when you go on a vacation, and let me explain the vacation really quick, and you'll be able to see how fascinating my adventure was. So what we did is in March 20-something, I even forgot the day. It was that refreshing. March 20-something, 22nd, 23rd. Anyways, we started on this adventure, right? And we took the motorhome. We have a Mercedes Delano Thor from... it's a nice Mercedes motorhome. It's 24 foot, and it's a brand new motorhome. And we got in this thing. We packed up some water. We packed up some clothes and a couple of things to eat on the way, some snacks. And then we headed off. Boom. We're on this road. The total mileage for this was almost 8,700. Now, that kind of explains how deep this vacation was, right? So our total goal was to go to a tax lien auction in Georgia. And I'm talking about a property tax lien, right? Because, we flip houses and all this other junk. So I wanted to go to DeKalb County to flip some property tax liens. And they're not as expensive as the other liens. They're very small. You can get them for a couple $100. You can get them for $20,000. It's just, you got to bring some money when you go, right? And you got to pay for the tax lien that same day. So what I did is took my partner, Catherine, we got in this motorhome and we just went. We went east. And then what we did is we ended up in Georgia, looked at some investment properties, make sure everything was cool. And it was. And we have a property manager over there that manages all the properties. And you know what? We're like, let's go to Miami. So we took the motorhome after we drove 2,300 miles. And then we went 600 or 700 miles south. And Miami, it's a great place, but it's got a lot of wind, a lot of storms. And recently, hurricanes, tornadoes. So everybody's freaking out. Well, you guys are going there? And I was like, yeah, we're going to go there. We're thrill seekers. So we had to go there and went down to Miami Beach, got to see Miami Beach for the first time in my life. I think I've been to Florida one other time, but it was a brief stay and that was it. But we hung out at Miami Beach for a couple of days and got to absorb all the stuff, took some great pictures, got to see a lot of cool places. And the beaches are pretty cool, but it's windy as hell. That day was windy. And I'm a kite flyer, right? So I couldn't fly my BAK, big ass kite. It's 333 feet long and it's about 100 feet wide. It's that big. But you'll see it if you go to the website. But anyways, we're sitting there and, we want to check it out. So we saw the Holocaust Museum there. It was a beautiful display of this hand that's coming out of the water. And it's a bunch of people crawling up the hand. There's big significance to it. You got to go there to check it out. And so it was almost like the Vietnam veteran wall. I mean, it had names and, it talked about the 6 million people that died under Hitler's regime, right? So anyways, that was pretty cool. We got to go to Miami Beach, checked out that, historical site. I thought it was, and I met a really cool gentleman there, and we talked about it for a minute, and he said his great-grandfather's grandfather was part of this, and I was just like blown away. There's somebody that had some serious family significance out of this. So it was humbling. And then we moved on from there. We just started to go up north. And then we went past Georgia. And listen, I don't know about you, but I had to have a Philly cheesesteak. First time I've ever did one, right? So we're sitting there and we pull up in Philadelphia. I mean, remember, all these places are new to me, man. I've never seen the United States like I saw it for the last 30 days. And let me tell you something. Philadelphia is pretty interesting. They have this really cool market that's actually inside of a building. It's like street level, but you got to go. They had every seafood. They had everybody was selling Philly cheesesteak. So it took me a second or two. And then we found one. And boy, let me tell you, pretty spectacular. That Philly cheesesteak was well worth the wait, right? So we're piling down this Philly cheesesteak. We had some of their macaroni and cheese and collard greens. Let me tell you, when I was a kid, one of the most interesting things my grandmother, Bessie Jones, everybody knows her, used to make is collard greens. She used to call them greens. She used to go outside in the backyard and pick these things out of the ground. And I was like, 5, 6. I'd eat them fresh, and then we'd have them for dinner. But at this event, when we went and saw Philadelphia, not an event. We're just hanging out, having a Philly cheesesteak. Who knew? So I'm eating these collard greens, and oh my God. Talk about the best memory rekindling I've ever had in my life. It was like I was a kid again. I still am. So that being said, we went out and ate a bunch of good stuff in Philly. And then you know what? Downtown Philadelphia, the City Hall, freaking spectacular. Wow. Get out of here. It was one of the craziest places I've ever been. The architecture of the building. The architecture was just like somebody hand carved every single stone. It's so beautiful. And we went in the City Hall, and there's this really cool thing. It's, you go into the center, it's a square. And this homeless guy was sitting there. He had his blanket over him. It's cold in Philly, right? It's flipping cold. Back east is cold, so dress warmly. So we're sitting there, and I'm listening to this older man sing the Beatles' Let It Be. And he didn't sing the whole song. He just had specific pieces of that song that he sung, and I'll put it in the video when I put this podcast together with the video. And it really just blew me away. Very humbling experience. This guy had to be at least, he looked like he was 70, but I know he wasn't 70. He's probably in his late 50s, early 60s, late 50s maybe. He had this big wool, I mean, it had to be wool, right? Blanket over him, sitting there with a duffel bag, a bucket out in front of him so people can do some donations. And he was singing Let It Be by the Beatles. And it echoed so beautifully in this little theater in City Hall. It's like, if anybody's been to Philly, you've been to the City Hall, where they got some beautiful architecture on the outside. They got horses. I mean, it has a lot of deep history. We went in there, into the center of City Hall, and we heard this guy's voice. And for an old guy, he sounded pretty damn good. He's very good. But most important to me was sitting there seeing this picture of him as I was videotaping him, singing the song, Let It Be by the Beatles. Let it be, let it be. And he just did a portion of it. And that's all he said, over and over and over and over. That's all he did. His whole day was to sing Let It Be by the Beatles. That's it. Maybe he did the ABCs the following day or something else. But when I was there, it was freaking spectacular. And it resonated through my body. It gave me a sense of appreciation, if you will, right? You can kind of get where I'm going with this. It humbled me, and I was just like, wow. It's 42 degrees outside, cold as hell. We're in this beautiful architecture. This guy's got nothing to his name. And so humbly, he's singing the song, Let It Be. Pretty cool. So anyways, that ended our day in Philadelphia, right? And prior to that, I forgot to tell you, before we went there, we had to stop into Savannah, Georgia. Have you ever been to Savannah, Georgia? What? You got to go. So plan a road trip. Get yourself a motorhome. There's plenty of places to park. You know what? And I found them all. It wasn't easy, but if you need to find out where they are, if you want to follow the same trails that I did, give me a DM and I'll share that with you. But anyways, we went to Savannah, Georgia. Wow. We pull up at the visitor center in our 24-foot motorhome. It's 10 o'clock at night. No, it was about 8 o'clock at night. We're starving. So we get out. We park there. We just walk up the street to this little, it looked like something from Cuba. It was a Cuban restaurant. And boy, was that the best food I've ever ate in my entire life. They had black beans. They had all the Cuban foods and meats. Catherine ate this amazing seafood platter. And they were playing old blues music. It set the stage, right? So we had a great time in Savannah, Georgia. We went on the bus tour that went around all Savannah, and it took us to different places. We got off and experienced the ice cream, the candy, just the horsebacks that were there, people getting tours and, these Buc-ee's, horse and buggy, and stuff like that. And to see the significance of Savannah, the old architecture, the building, you can feel the ambience. It was just off the cuff. Yeah, so we hung out there for a minute before we went to Philadelphia. And let me tell you something. Wow. You got to go to Savannah, Georgia. You got to go to Miami, Florida. You got to go to Philadelphia to get the cheesesteak. And then from there, we went up to Boston, Massachusetts. A little further. Or before that, I'm sorry, we went to this really cool lighthouse and we hung out for a good half the day after we, sometimes we have to hook up and dump and get new fresh water and all the stuff. So we did that. And then we found this lighthouse that you'll see as well. This lighthouse was amazing. The wind up at the top must have been 150 feet tall. The wind up at the top was like 50 miles an hour. I almost got blown off the edge. I'm a big guy, right? So I almost got blown off the edge. So that being said, yeah. Anyways, so we did that, and then we went to Philadelphia, right? So Philadelphia was great. Can't say anything bad about it. Thank you, Philadelphia. Thank you, Savannah, Georgia. Thank you, Miami, Florida. Great time. Then we went up to Boston, Massachusetts, and we're about the 12th day, 13th, 14th, 15th day. Go up to Massachusetts. That's my other one. And we went to Quincy Market. You ever been there? You got to go to get the famous lobster sandwich. Got to do it. It comes, about 10 inches. Comes with a great bowl of clam chowder, New England, the white one. And then it comes with a drink, a Coke or something like that. Wow. Have you ever ate something so good? It was light as air and tasted so damn good. Well, that was this lobster sandwich. So good, man. $50 a sandwich. Worth every bite. And then the clam chowder was to die for. Oh, this New England clam chowder, man. Woo. It was spectacular. Of course, we bought 4 lobsters, took them home, took them in the rig, and we're eating them along the way. Awesome. We even took some home to our friends and family. Took some home and shared it with them too. Great, 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 great. 100% Quincy Market. You got to go. Got to go to Boston, Massachusetts. And the people there, and when we parked our rig, we got an Uber driver to take us different spots and stuff like that. And that's how we experienced all that. Amazing. Quincy Market. Every kind of food you want. It's well worth the trip. And hang out for a minute. And don't stop. You got to look at the architecture of these buildings. These buildings are also sweet as hell, right? You got MIT, you've got Massachusetts, you've got the witch thing up there. But specifically, Quincy Market is a great, great area for architecture and spectacular food. Yeah. And it was crowded as hell. We ate the hell out of that lobster sandwich, to say the least. Really, really good. Can't complain. And then from that trip, we went over to Niagara Falls. I have never in my life been to Niagara Falls. I'm an American. I'm 63 years old, even though I look 35. So anyways, I got to go across the border, give them our passports on the Canadian side. And let me tell you, I got to show you some videos. I got to show you some pictures at Niagara Falls. What the heck? It was not even a perfect day, but just to see the majestic water go right down and to hear it, to see the birds. all the color, the shapes, the sizes of people. Everybody was there from all walks of earth. Niagara Falls. I told Catherine I want to get in a barrel and go over the edge like everybody else has. I would do it if there was such a thing. But, I'll probably go to jail and get locked up for a week. And that was not good, so I didn't. But Niagara Falls was crazy. It was so majestic. You could see the power in the water that just went over. And, of course, I couldn't fly my drone there either. I got to tell you, I got to go back reverse in a second. But let me finish Niagara Falls. I could not, fly my drone there. I even called the Ministry of Niagara to say, hey, can I get a pass? Can I fly for an hour? And the answer was no, because the airspace on the Canadian side, the government part says, no, can't do it. So I didn't do it. So shucks. But I got some cool pictures and some video from my phone. Maybe I should get a selfie stick that goes like 60 feet. I don't know. I'm just saying. But Niagara Falls was definitely one of the 7 wonders of the world. It was flipping off the hook. And prior to all that, sorry, I went a little awry. I went and seen Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It's open to the public. They got rockets all over the place, and I'll show you some pictures and a drone video, right? But anyways, the drone video was kind of cool, but there was a reason. I got to set my camera again. You following me? Anyways, doesn't matter. I did a drone video, but the Kennedy Space Center by itself was off the hook. It was everything history about how we went to the moon. And let me tell you, wow, you got to go. You got to go. It's one of your things on your bucket list. Get that checked off. So at the end of our little excursion, we're doing our stuff. And prior to that, see, I'm kind of I can't even remember the steps that we did. Prior to that, I'll tell you what happened after. We went to Graceland, went to Tennessee, which was crazy prior to this, right? So we go up to Tennessee and we see Graceland. We see Elvis Presley's 17,000 square foot home. The home originally had 10,000 square feet and they added 7,000 square feet. I guess they needed more room. Rightfully so, because that place is big. And, I flew the drone over that, saw Graceland, saw the house, and they have this really, really cool area to where Elvis, his mom, his dad, his daughter, not his wife, maybe his sister or whoever that was, they were buried in the backyard. It's so beautiful. It was really, just wow. It gave me the wow factor. I'm just, whoa, crazy. So you got to go to Graceland. Put that on your bucket list. Get it off. We were there for a day or two, and it was pretty cool. You could park your RV next to Graceland and take the tour. It's part of the deal. It's worth it. Well worth it, right? So after we went there, then we went to Kennedy Space Center, and I'll finish that now. Talking about history, man. Wow. Completely blew me away. So I take this drone, one of my favorites, and it's a really good one. And I'm going through the rockets. Who does that? Crazy people like me, right? So I didn't think anything of it. I'm doing the drone stuff and bam. And I get rushed by 5 security guards. Oh my God, bring your drone down. You can't fly your drone here. Nothing anywhere that said you can't fly a drone. No drone zone. So anyways, I looked on my little mapping thing, and inside my thing, it says you can't fly here or this is a restricted area. None of that was there. And Florida has a really cool law. It's a kind of a wobbler, and they like to do things when they like to do things, and they like to give people citations when they feel like they can give people citations just for, I don't know, no reason. I don't know. So I get this citation, and it wasn't too bad. It was the best $280 video I've ever made. But I was just like, on the thing, it says you can fight it in court and this and that and this and that. I'm like, no, not going to do that. It wasn't my ignorance. I actually checked. I checked with all kinds of stuff, and it didn't say I couldn't fly, so I flew. But now don't take a drone to Kennedy Space Center and fly it anywhere. And this wasn't the first adventure for these guys. They're like, well, we get 2 or 3 a day. I was the third one for that day. But anyways, they're making a lot of money on giving out citations, so don't bring it. Just get a selfie stick about 250 feet and take some pictures. It's better, safer, and it's less expensive. So anyways, got some shirts and the other junk at the Kennedy Space Center, and it was great. And then, of course, we moved up to Massachusetts, right? Did all that stuff, as you were told just now. And then we had to go to the state of Washington, D.C., right? Have you ever been to the burial site of Arlington Memorial? You're going to see, we went up and saw Abraham Lincoln, where he's at, and we saw his big monument. We saw miscellaneous things. We saw the White House, and it's a shame. There's this 15-foot black gate with little holes all the way around the White House, because these sycophantic people like to park outside the gate and just vomit their propaganda. And I kind of had a discussion with somebody. I just told him, listen, man, you need to do 2 things. 2 words, 2 syllables, and do it as soon as possible. He goes, what's that? And I go, seek help. This guy was in a tent telling me, Trump sucks, the world sucks. And I said, nothing's perfect, but it's not cool for you to be there. Anyways, you get to make yourself look like a 10-cent idiot. But anyway, that was another story. So we got to see the White House, see a bunch of monuments. We went and saw the beautiful one where Forrest Gump, filmed that movie from the 70s that was done in the year 2000, I think. And, the Washington Monument was there. Spectacular. Windy as hell. You got to go. It was just great. And then we went to Arlington Memorial. That's where they have those little white gravestones all over the place. People died in Vietnam and other places, right? Wow. Talking about, you're going to get a good pair of tennis shoes and walk the whole thing, because you got to see the Kennedy Memorial, and you got to see a couple other things. You got to see the unnamed soldier, right? Those guys that walk back and forth, and these guys mean business. You got to see it. It's first time, lots of people. Wow. That's all I can say. And you'll see pictures of that. Blew me away, right? So the Kennedy Memorial, which is him, his wife, and I think, maybe a daughter, are sitting there, and they have this forever flame. It's a gas flame. There's his gravesite is right here, right? And then right above it is this gas flame. And it's continuous. It's never turned off, and it's 24/7. I guess that's a great way to commemorate what he did as sacrificed during his assassination and everything else, right? You've heard the stories. And I heard that Trump's going to release those documents now, so we might find out who really did it. I personally think it's a Secret Service agent that was in the following car in the front that raised up that AK-47 that accidentally shot the president. But what do I know? We'll find out soon. Maybe. So we saw the Kennedy Memorial. We saw miscellaneous buildings throughout. And, we saw the unnamed soldier. And those guys are out there, rain and shine, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And do not go past the little rope area if you don't want to get your head ripped off. I mean, verbally. These guys are rough. But, hey, rightfully so. All those soldiers that are there, that are throughout the park, those little white tombstones are just basic reminders of how America became America and the wars we had to fight to keep freedom. Whatever you want to think about it, it was an impressive park at best. It was very impressive. So we did that. And then, of course, then we went to Niagara Falls, did all that stuff. And there's probably a couple other things that I'm not mentioning, and then we just drove across the U.S. on the top. I think it was the 95 or the 76 to the 80. And we just slowly drove over the top, going through Wisconsin, going through Wyoming, going through all those states, right? Kansas. Anyways, it was an amazing adventure and something I will never forget. You got to go out and see America, everybody. Take a month off. Go. Get a motorhome and do it right. You know what I'm saying? So that was done. And then, of course, I got to do this. We went down. I had to go to Area 51. I was thinking of alien abduction or something like that. But we didn't get abducted. I'm here. Right? How do you know I'm me? I don't know. But anyways, went there, done that. And crazy, man. We went to the extraterrestrial highway. There's a sign that says it. We went to 2 of the Area 51 gift shops. Cool as hell. Went to the edge of Area 51 where it says, stop. If you don't want your vehicle towed, impounded, and permanently sold, if you don't want to go to prison, don't pass that line. Right? So we're like, my luck, it would be a drone fly, and I would have the Secret Service, the CIA, and whoever else is there come and gobble me up. So I decided not to fly the drone. I decided not to go over the line, and we did the Area 51 trip, right? Kind of cool. A great vacation, great company, great food, great places to hang out and to just park your RV. Just a lot of good stuff. You got to go. Get out there. Spring is in the air. If you're not going somewhere on vacation now or maybe in a week, you're missing out. So do it, right? And then I come back, to work. A couple things have changed. Kind of progressive, which is great. It's kind of a fresh start. And, me and Sergio hanging out here, and all of a sudden, this guy named James Grasso, they walk the park here where we have our business, and he comes in. This guy is in the insurance business, and so was his wife. He's a newlywed at 45. I think his wife's going to be 39 now or something like that. 39, 40? I don't know. But a couple of great people. She wasn't there, but he was there. And this guy drives super bikes, like on the bike range and doing 140 miles an hour type stuff, to where I would have probably died at the first corner, the turn, the hairpin. But anyways, talking to him for about an hour. This guy was full of energy. He was very energetic. He was very open-minded. And it was a great conversation. Him and Sergio immediately hooked up, because Sergio's into supercars and all these other cool things. He wants to drive a supercar before he dies, and I'm going to make sure that happens, Sergio. But James is going to lead him down another track. And let me tell you something. What a great, great conversation. And so we hung out for an hour. And let me just make sure this is his name. Yeah, James Grasso. See? It's right there. But anyways, had a great conversation with him, made a new friend. We're going to do some marketing things together. And isn't it just amazing how the universe aligns people? On one hand, it takes out the trash. It separates you from stuff that's negative. It separates you from the stuff that you don't really need to hear about anymore. You don't need to associate anymore. You just got to move on. You got to clean the office. You got to wipe the floor. Now I got to clean the car. But anyways, you got to do all those things. And then somebody else walks in. You've heard it a million times where one door closes, another one opens. In fact, 2 of them opened at that time. Talented as hell. So we're going to do some networking in the future and kind of bring in some more opportunity for him and for us. Because remember, if you sit at the table and everybody doesn't eat, it's not a successful meeting. If you're just doing this selfish shit, right, to where, and at one point, after I got my Tesla, died and gave it back to Tesla, and they paid off the loan and gave me a check for the remaining balance, like $12,000. I didn't have a car for a year. So the one that I had before that I gave to somebody else who has exited stage left went to another person who's now exited stage left. And now I got the car. But isn't it amazing how all this stuff works, right? And in some cases, not everybody's going to see what you see. Not everybody's going to understand it, but it's all related, right? Had to go on a trip. Something had to happen. Had to take out the trash, and I made a new relationship. Wow. And I got to do this for 30 days. Spectacular at best. And you know what to say about karma, right? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And some people that tell you they're full of integrity or they call you brother in the future, don't take it to heart, because 90% of that, 95% of that is all hogwash, right? And they'll just do it to manipulate things to get what they need so their needs are filled. They don't give a crap about you. But things are there and they happen. So I learned a life lesson a couple days ago, yesterday actually, and I got to meet a new person today, and everything fell into perspective. It's like the stars aligned, and it was good because it was necessary. It was a necessary evil, if you will. So that happened, and here I am talking about my story from back east. I have to tell you, everybody that does this has to go back east. You got to do it, man. Get in your car, schedule out your trip, do what I did, and just go. Just go. Save up a bunch of money and spend it on that. And just enjoy America. America is beautiful, man. You got to get out there and enjoy America. America has so many different positivities, so many things out there you got to just dive into. You got to breathe. You got to stretch. Let it out. Put everything aside and go. You got to do it. If you don't, you're missing out on some of life's beauties, and they happen to exist in America. Of course, at the end of this year, we're going to Europe. Never been to Europe. Going to Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii. Of course, I've sent people to Hawaii. It's just to make sure they had a good time. But now it's my turn, and I'm going to go to Hawaii. I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to go see the Terracotta Warriors. You don't know what that is? Look it up. That's where I'm going. I'm going to see the Great Wall of China. I'm going to see all that stuff. And I'll come back and report it to you. Report it to you. We're going to do that. All right. So I just wanted to say I'm back. This is episode 86. And it's going to be listed as Vacation Plus. And just check out the episode. Everything you guys do, I appreciate. If you want to rent out the podcast studio here in Upland, California, please do so. Give me a DM or send me an email at cmoss at Q as in quality, H as in home, I as in improvement, I as in improvement, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie.com, or call me directly 909-372-8787. If you got any home improvements you want to do, roofing and solar, kitchens, bathrooms, we got you covered. Speak to Sergio or myself. We'd be more than happy to help you out. Give you a good price without getting gouged, right? we can do some quality work and you get stuff done. If you need some drone activities, guess what? We own drone9.net. Check it out on the internet, drone9, DRONE, the number 9.net. You'll see it in the advertisements at the end. Talk to Sergio, get something going. All your real estate people that want to make some great videos to show houses, this is the guy. He also does interior work, and he's a great photographer. So check out Sergio at drone9.net. And it's coming. I know. It's almost here. Christmas. And you'll see all the credits for that, the Halloween, the Christmas, and the house flipping that you know that I do. So check all those things out in the credits. And I want to thank you personally for hanging out with us on a Tuesday. I appreciate you. And pass it on. We are the Energy Hour Podcast. And I will see you on the next episode. That'll be episode 87. Who knows what we do? Because we do stuff on the cuff, man. We do stuff on the cuff. And when I get to learn this, maybe I'll do one on the road, right? I'll do one at the Terracotta Warriors. Who knew? We got a laptop. It should be pretty easy. But I don't have all this cool equipment with me, right? Again, my name is Christopher Moss. I appreciate you guys. We've got episode 86 in the bag. I am the Energy Hour Podcast, and thank you for watching.
This has been the Energy Hour Podcast. If it's home improvements, real estate, house flipping, or just life in general, we're talking about it. It's our passion. And between Christopher, Robert, and Steven, they're your secret sauce to get you to the next level and beyond. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hit the website at QHIinc.com/TEO. And we'll catch you next time on the Energy Hour Podcast.
Capture the joyful magic of the holiday season with Virtual Santa. Virtual Santa is a high-definition projection effect that walks, waves, laughs, eats cookies, and puts presents under the tree. From outside, it's so real, you swear Santa's in your house. Virtual Santa, originally seen on ABC's The Great Christmas Light Fight. You can choose from traditional Virtual Santa or new African American Santa. Holiday effects include Virtual Santa, Mrs. Claus, Santa's Workshop with Christmas elves, and so much more. Buy one effect or a bundle, available in HD DVD, digital download, or USB flash drive. Also available in LED projection bundles. For a winning Christmas display that will delight your neighbors young and old, visit us at virtualsanta.com and become known as the house where Santa lives. Virtual Santa, where holiday spirit begins.
Welcome to Drone 9. Located in Upland, California, Drone 9 specializes in drone cinematography for the following industries that are looking for that perfect shot or video: construction, infrastructure, and project management. Sell better: residential and commercial real estate. Construction survey: see what you haven't seen before. Events and weddings: get that perfect shot when it matters most. Tourism, resort, golf, attraction, destination marketing. For more information, visit them on the internet at drone9.net. That's DRONE 9.net. Drone9.net. Great cinematography.
Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to Holiday Projection, your ultimate online destination for all things Christmas.
And Halloween. Whether you're looking for LED projector bundles, digital downloads, USB flash drives, or spine-chilling Halloween sound effects, we've got you covered.
Our one-stop shop brings together the magic of Christmas
And the thrill of Halloween.
so you can easily find your favorite holiday effects in one place.
Don't wait. Start shopping now.
Visit us online at holidayprojection.com. Ho, 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 ho.
Welcome to the House Flipping Academy. Learn how to flip houses from start to finish. Tired of being broke working for someone else? If so, then the House Flipping Academy was made for you. Learn more at cmycinc.com. The House Flipping Academy. Your future is just one house flip away.
There are thousands of podcasts out there that talk about home improvement, real estate, flipping houses, taxes, Airbnb pros, but none have the expertise of the Energy Hour podcast. We want to invite you over to the show. It doesn't cost you anything to tune in, but not coming over and being part of our family could cost you big time and missed opportunities. You'll get the very latest on solar and renewable energy, plus all the inside tips from house flipping gurus, real estate investors, tax experts, and Airbnb pros. Come join your hosts, Christopher, Robert, and Steven, on the Energy Hour podcast. Find us on all the major podcast platforms. Visit the website at qhiinc.com/DEO.